Hello everyone, how are you all doing today? My name is Varanus, and boy has it been a hot minute since I have done a video. Jesus. Yeah, this is, you're going to see some invasion in the background. I'm going to be playing some other games at this point, because invasion is getting tricky to get content for. This was the best match that I have, and the reason this was the best match was because these players were halfway decent, but they weren't so good that you can't play invasion because I've said, other people have talked about as well, invasion mode is a knowledge check. Once you have the knowledge check passed, then invasion becomes trivial and you can just kill imposters very quickly. So it's boring at that point, especially playing as the imposter. In group settings, like larger groups, it's a little bit better, but not by much. But I digress. Anyway, so let's talk about overall the main things that happen in the videos that you're going to see. Well, first, you're going to see problem number one with invasion mode. And problem number one with invasion mode is that some players are complete dinguses. Let me show you a clip of what I mean. So this is a pair of people trying to do the intensive difficulty of Despoil the Auction. Now, it's intensive difficulty, so I'm already kind of on the idea of, I'm going to be a little bit nicer to them. I'm not going to really try and go for any major crazy chases. I saw the information, these guys are not new, but they're still learning new. And Despoil the Auction is already a hard trial as it is, just because of the way Lilia Bogomolova works and everything else. And if you're doing it on intensive, there's more enemies around, which makes it even harder in some areas. So, it's going to be a nice little challenge. So I know that they're out dealing with some pretty big, nasty problems out there. There's a Jaeger that spawns a whole bunch of problems. They take a crap ton of damage before they even get inside of this next area. And yeah, it doesn't get better for them. So the heavy brute is going to chase one of them away. The other one's going to sneak over and open the door. Why are they sneaking over and opening the door? Because there's a Jaeger coming. Oh, hey, look, a Jaeger. So that guy there is going to run away and try and not die. That one's going to sneak in there. And when it does, guess what? I get to now enter the trial. And so I'm going to be able to jump in there and start trying to cause a ruckus. And the easiest thing that I can do, because I'm already outside, I'm like, okay, great. Well, I'm outside, so I don't want to cause a problem. So I'm just going to sneak over, find myself a hiding spot, and I'm going to see if I can get a jump on somebody without dying to the Jaeger. I thought about going in initially, but then I was like, you know what? Screw it. It's not really worth it. I come down over here and I see that there's the heavy X pop again. I'm like, you know what? It's not worth it. Let's go to this hiding spot right here. We'll jump this guy that has been staying out in the cold, and maybe we'll be able to get a really good kill on him. A really just quick kill. Or at least a stab, that's all I really wanted was a stab. I see the heavy X pop is going. I see that the person's coming around, and bam. And oh, by the way, because of their health, they're dead. So there's now a heavy X pop standing between me and the kill. He runs away-ish. I go in and start stabbing. Time to die. And look at who's just casually chilling right there. Jaeger, and then a heavy X pop. I'm trying to figure out a way to get around here without dying. I get bitch slapped by the heavy. Sucks, but there's nothing I can do. I just run and try and get to the exit so that I can get out of there. They don't want to die. Stamina also bugged out because it's currently telling me that I have no stamina. So get out, they revived, blah, 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 right? Okay, great. So now they just need to heal up by the time I come back in, and then I can go in there, we can have a normal chase, and not instantly one-tap somebody, right? Right? That's That should be pretty clear. So I'm perusing through the cameras, trying to see where they're at. I'm like, okay, well, this area is pretty quick. It's pretty easy to get both things open. They should be able to just open those up right away, not have too many threats because they leave the blue door closed. So then all they have to do is just deal with the one X-Pop that spawns in this area. Right? Right? Well, yeah, why don't we go check the camera and see if they've opened the back door? Because they probably opened the back door to get that guy, but they probably closed it, right? They closed the door, right? Yeah? Yeah? No, they left it wide open. So anybody could go in, anybody can go out. It's not good. That's not that you don't do that. Especially if you're in an invasion, because if I spawn outside, I can walk in through that blue door. Speaking of which, I spawn outside. And instead of trying to lift open the heavy grate, I'm just gonna waltz on inside. Now, I don't exactly know where they're at. I saw that they were in that other room, so I'm like, okay, well, they're sneaking around. Let me be careful. I see that guy's the synesthesia there, so I'm like, okay, let's be careful. Let's sneak around. Let's see if I can catch them off guard from the other side. See if anybody tries to come in. Oh, no one's coming. Okay, well, let's keep sneaking forward. Let's see if I can be able to catch somebody off guard and get rid of somebody from the match real quickly. And no, nobody. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm not going to worry too much about it. But where are they? And I couldn't figure out where they are. So I just kind of kept skirting around. And eventually, I find out that they are to my left. And I decide to start going after them. They try and attack me. I don't know why my stab failed, but whatever. They go out, so I just do the smart thing and just lock them out. They can't come back in. And so now it's just a matter of this person. This person didn't realize that I was an enemy because I was disguised as their friend. So I just stabbed their butt. And then now I'm just tracking them. See them here. I stab them again. Now, you would think that their friend, who's outside, would currently turn on the heat, try and stay warm, and then would try and come through. No, they bleed out because they didn't warm up, and they stayed running and dealing with the heavy X-Pop. So I'm dealing with this person, I get stunned, I get bitch slapped, so I decide, you know what? Now is my cue to get out of dodge, because they're having enough trouble, and I don't want the mission to end just yet. I want to be able to play with them some more. And yeah. And she was low enough health because I stabbed her enough. She's dead. GG. Yeah. Yeah. That's how easy it was. Now, before somebody jumps down my throat and says, well, how could you do that to some people who are still new and learning the game? I didn't intend to. And the thing is, again, like I said, the only time when you, as the invader, really get to play is doing that. Playing against people who don't really know the game that well. So you end up kind of bullying them. I mean, let me show you another clip. I'm going to speed this clip up because I'm not going to make you sit through the entire thing.
This clip is sped up at about 4 times speed. This is a pair of players that I've played against before, and they just do OTK combos and just try and kill you off as quickly as they can. They don't try and leave you alone like some people will. So the easiest thing that I've learned is that because they take their time, since they're wanting to OTK you, I just enter and exit the elevators. And because each time you enter and exit the elevator, you get half a grade, then you just take that half a grade and you run with it. And since you can do 2 entrances and exits in a small batch and then you have to wait 30 seconds, you basically go a letter grade up every 40 seconds. So, you know, what's the negative? What's to not want? It's an easy way to be able to get letter grades, which means you get the rewards at the end. It's boring, but, I mean, what would I rather do? Sit through, be boring, and get a good letter grade? Or would I rather go into the mission, and then, because when you die, you lose 3 letter grades on top of the letter grades that you lose per health bracket that you lose, which is a grand total, if I remember correctly, of each bracket loses you 3/4 of a letter grade. So you tell me, what is the smarter option for me to lose 3/4 of a letter grade, or for me to just do this and be bored? Look at that. All the way to an A, I get an A plus at the end of it. So it's kind of ridiculous. Also, the way they said they changed the grading, it's like, oh, we don't want you to actually kill them. The goal is not to kill them, it's to hurt them now. Meanwhile, if you manage to kill, or if both of them manage to die in the trial, or however many players there are, then you get an A plus. Whether you kill them or they die to XPOP, so long as you actually were able to enter the trial and you like did something, you get an A plus. If you just stab them a whole bunch, you get some grade, but you don't get nearly as much as you do if you kill. Like, getting a kill instantly jumps your letter grade up massively. It's like, why wouldn't you want to go for kills? Kills give you letter grades. Letter grades gives you better experience. Like, I don't understand how people still think that the devs like the devs changed the name, but they didn't change the gameplay. And so because the gameplay is not altered, you still have the exact same problem. People have to go for kills to be able to get anything done. So yeah, this isn't to be moot about it. I've been having fun. Trust me, I've been having fun. Just haven't been recording because I've been sick, and the problem was that I would record the clips like normally, but then I couldn't do audio and I didn't want to edit because I just didn't feel good, so I wanted to just kind of either sit and play more games or I wanted to go to sleep. So, that was that. But yeah, I mean, I'm still enjoying Outlast Trials. I enjoy it all the time. I enjoyed this match that you're seeing in the majority of the clips, especially because the players were, I think I mentioned this earlier, they were new enough that the knowledge check hadn't been passed, but they were experienced enough to know that there were tools that they had that they could use. And that's right in the sweet spot for where Invasion should be. Now, I do want to mention one thing, and some people have talked about this on forums, and I want to argue against it, where they've said that the game should be balanced around psychosurgery, because the XPOP are actually dangerous, blah blah blah, stuff like that. Let me show you something. I forgot I didn't record that match. God damn it. Well, what I was going to show you was there was a match that I invaded of two people trying to do grind the bad apples at psychosurgery difficulty. And it was bad. It was really bad. So, they got through the main gate, right? Okay, so then I get to spawn in. Of course, you spawn in out on the other side of the main gate, so I have to lift it up. So I'm crouching, sneaking, trying to figure out where they're going. And in the first carnival area, they go up the stairs and into the room that's right there. If that makes sense. Oh, no, wait, no, this wasn't grind the bad apples. What the fuck am I thinking? Well, I did have to lift the gate. I don't know why I had to lift the gate, but I had to lift the gate to get to where they were. No, they were doing, I forgot what the fucking trial is. Or I forgot what it's called, but you have to hit all of the targets with the hearts. God, my brain is slow today. If you can't tell, I'm still recovering from all of the holiday sickness. You would throw the hearts at the targets,
It's again, it's in the carnival map. They were in the first carnival area, and they were in where you could go up the little stairwell there, and then you could go to the little alcove room, with like I think it's like a water pump. It looks like power, like standard back of house stuff for theme parks and shit. And they went in there. They had brought in with them into that area, as sad as that is, they brought in a Gen X and Gooseberry. And so I also snuck in there, and while they were there, the one guy was trying to set up a blind rig, and he failed to place the mine because I slapped him at the last second before he could place it. So no mine was placed. So then they ran back in deeper, and I jumped into a barrel so that then I wouldn't get aggroed by Gooseberry as she came back running back in. So they're in the very back corner. One's dealing with the Gen X, the other one is now bringing Gooseberry in, and is completely confused because Gooseberry didn't stop to a blind rig. She charged on in. I hop out, and I just hold up my knife, and I get ready to stab, and I get to perform a stab animation as the guy comes up to me, and Gooseberry goes and bitch slaps the other guy, and they die. Because it was psychosurgery, so they just died instantly. Psychosurgery is not where the game of Invasion needs to be balanced around. Where Invasion needs to be balanced around is how many resources are available. Because the issue is, how do I put this? The resources are a static amount, whether you're playing solo, duo, trio, quad. And the reason they're like that is because if you're playing solo, you need more resources to be able to survive on your own, because you don't have a teammate who can distract for you, right? If you're in a duo, you need that exact same amount of resources because you need to be able to sometimes distract for your teammate, but sometimes you also need to be able to defend for yourself. So you need that exact same number of resources, etc., etc. Here's the problem. How many invaders are coming in? That changes things. Because right now, if I go in as a solo invader, right? Like I do in most of my clips, I have 2 lives. If I die, then I have 1 life left, and then I'll die after that, and then I'm gone. If I was in a quad invasion, where there's 4 of us invading somebody's trial, each invader has 2 lives, so there's a grand total of 8 lives there. So what ends up happening is, let's say I go into a trial and I bait them out. They throw a bunch of bricks and bottles, they miss a couple, they throw a couple of elsewhere, and I go back into an elevator. So I bait a bunch of attacks from them, and I run away. In a balanced game, that would have taken up so many of the resources that they would be severely punished for that. The problem is that they're not, because there's so many resources that are just normally abound. This means that as the solo invader, I'm punished for baiting resources because I need to just be going for kills or just doing elevator dashes to be able to get as high of a grade as possible. And I guarantee you, the elevator, like the elevator exploit, so to speak, is going to be patched out when they do their next major change. They're going to be like, yeah, we realized people would just jump in and out of elevators, so they're just going to get rid of it. I do hope that I have a feeling, just based off of the few things I've heard, they have an idea of how they're going to fix Invasion. They tried this whole hurt the reagent thing, and they saw that that didn't work. They saw that the changes to stamina did not fix that OTK combos. The OTK combos were still a thing, and they were actually way worse. they've noticed that nothing changed. The gameplay is still in the same kind of state where invasion is a knowledge check and there's no skill. And so, from what I understand, they have an idea of how to fix that. So that's the good news. We just have to wait and see what it's going to look like. Sorry, my cat started meowing, so I had to get the cat to be quiet. Um, so yeah, it's kind of the basics of how everything's looking. You're gonna see some gameplay, or you probably saw it in the previous video to this one of me playing Species Unknown. You're gonna be seeing that game quite a bit because it's something new and fresh, and I really like it. And there's enough content in there for me to make multiple videos. You're probably gonna see some. There's another game that I've been playing called Dupery. Uh, if you haven't played Dupery, it's like Demon Souls, which is very similar to that of playing either like a single player werewolf or Blood on the Clock Tower type game. And so I've been enjoying both of those, Demon Bluff or Dupery. But Dupery is way more challenging, like way harder. So I've been playing that one more. Um, but you're still going to see Outlast Trials. Don't worry, this is not going anywhere. It's just currently in a mini pause while I get well, not pause. I don't want to call it a pause. It's not a pause. It's in a mini. Give me some time to figure out what I'm going to do uh, to be able to keep content flowing for you guys, because I don't want to have a drought. I want to be able to keep things happening. I could obviously do like what I did before, where I did the like the trials that people have custom made. The problem was that that happened was that all of a sudden I got a bunch of really bad ones that were featured. No offense to people who made them. Like, I'm not expecting everybody is going to be a genius at making trials that is going to make, you know, the best trials in the world. But not gonna lie, the trials that are currently that have come out are super easy, and I kind of was like, what the fuck am I looking at? So I didn't know what I was like, I'm not gonna record that. So then I waited till the next one, and the next one was just as bad. And so I was like, well, okay, then I don't know what to do. So we'll eventually get there. Just it's gonna take some time. Anyways, I'll let you watch the rest of this clip in peace without me. Just hunting down this last guy. Have yourselves a kick-ass day.
Doesn't want me to help you!